And welcome to yet another episode of Hardly Working Through It, the show where we deep dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of life, love, and labor. I am one of your hosts, SP.
And I'm Kelly. And today we're talking about traditions.
Traditions. What is that?
Tradition.
Is that Fiddler on the Roof?
Tradition.
Tradition.
Yeah, I was like, if you can name the musical, I'll give you 5 points. But you already knew.
Do I still get 5 points?
You do.
Do I get bonus points for doing it before you asked?
Yes, you do. So 10 points.
Just like in marriage, if you can do it before you're asked to do it.
Yeah, it's a win.
It's better.
But today we're talking about traditions. Family traditions, specifically around holidays, since we're in the holiday season.
So whoop-dee-doo. Is that really the lyric in that song? It's the holiday season.
Yeah.
So whoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock.
Yeah, I don't really know that.
Don't
holiday
forget to light up a sock. I don't know the words to anything. He'll be coming down the chimney
Not light
now.
up, maybe hang up a sock. I don't really know.
In 12 o'clock. Traditions.
Traditions.
Holiday traditions. Thanksgiving and Christmas particularly, I'm sure.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one because I am not confident that you have traditions.
I love that you know me so well.
Yeah.
I don't. We're not really a family of traditions. I will tell you in the midst of our episode the things that we did regularly and routinely for the holidays.
Which would be, I guess, considered a tradition.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Which sounds like I said in a sense. Innocence.
Yeah, but in a sense.
In a sense. Yeah. Do you want me to jump into some of mine?
Yeah. Honestly was curious. You tried to call your mom to be like, hey, Mom, what traditions do we have? She didn't answer.
She never answers my calls.
That's not true. But
Never.
But I was curious because I was thinking about it and I was like, I definitely can think of traditions that we used to do when I was younger. Obviously, as you get older, some of those things like don't stick.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I have traditions that I've worked hard to try to put in place in our nuclear little family, which have become traditions, which I think is fun. And I guess that's how it happens. You decide you want to do something and you do it.
That's it.
Continuously over and over again.
But the funny thing is when you're a kid, you just think it's a tradition and that's just what's done because you were born into it. And you're like, I guess it's what we do.
Yeah. But yeah.
Someone has to choose. Someone's like, I'm going to put my family through this year after year
And it's
after
me.
year after year. And it's you. But before we get into the fun stuff of traditions, let me tell you my unpop a pin of traditions.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to do with being a child in the holidays. It has to do with being a young adult in the holidays, especially if you're married or in a relationship.
I'm listening.
Let me tell you, one tradition that needs to get sorted out is going to multiple events on the same day. There were some years where I went to multiple Thanksgivings, more than 2 Thanksgivings on the same day. And that's not fun for anyone.
It's too much food.
It's too much. But what happens when you're married, unless you're in awesome families like you and I are, typically you got to figure out, okay, someone's going to have brunch Thanksgiving and someone's going to have 2 p.m. dinner Thanksgiving, and then someone else has to have 7 p.m. dinner Thanksgiving. So that way we can go to everyone's families. And it is more complicated if you have multiple families, like divorced parents or anything like that. But I've had too many Thanksgivings specifically where I'm stuffed from eating thing after thing after thing at so many different houses, driving with babies or dogs or just partners you don't want to drive with. Whatever it is doing these things year after year, and you're miserable. And the whole day, this is what bothers me. When holidays become a chore and unpleasant and a task, they're not fun. What are we doing? What are we celebrating? Thanksgiving could be so wonderful to be like, let's be thankful and talk about that and just meditate on that, dwell on our gratitude. But instead, it's often like, shove your face full of turkey and pie over here at 11 so you can drive to Monrovia 3 hours away. It's not quite 3. So many hours away. So you can stuff your face full of other stuff and they can be like, you don't want any pie? Why don't you want pie? Because I just ate 6 pieces of pie, Karen.
This is
at my last
second Thanksgiving meal. Yeah, that I've had. Yeah,
anyway,
I've never had
let's
to do
drop that. You haven't, because our families are awesome.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it.
Yes.
If no one has. Thank you, Mom. Susan, Mom.
I was about to say, we've got to give a shout out to my mom.
Yeah, to Susan, Mom.
Yes.
Forget my other mom. Thank you, Mom. Because I understand that she gives up stuff. I mean, and I know that she used to do a ton of stuff with her family. Like I do remember we only did a couple of them before your aunts moved. But we used to do Christmas Eves at your mom's house, which I loved and I thought was so fun. And obviously we don't do anymore because not everyone's here. But I do recognize the fact that every year your mom lets me do Thanksgiving with my family. You and me do Thanksgiving with my family. And I really appreciate it. Every year she's invited to come, but I also understand how that can be difficult with things that Megan's planning and with her mom and with her sisters and all of the things, because she still has her family too. But I really do appreciate that she allows us to do that. And I couldn't be more grateful for Steaksgiving. As someone who does not like turkey,
Yeah.
that it is the best thing.
Steaksgiving is what we started doing in my family, which is just our small nuclear family. Me, my mom, my sister, Brooklyn, and you.
Yeah.
Steaksgiving is Thanksgiving, but no turkey, just steak. This
Just
year we
food,
might...
all food we like.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Because this year we might not do steaks. We actually haven't nailed down what we are
And that's
doing.
okay. We know when we're doing it, and we're going to hang out and have fun. Maybe play dominoes.
I want to put a little cherry on top of this, though. And we have done dominoes with her in the past. My mom has always given up the day of holidays.
Yeah.
Even before you were around, when I was married before, she'd always given up the holidays for a different day. She's always sacrificed that. And that has been a tradition that I understand is something that she has to give up. And I am grateful that there is so little ego involved with it. And she's always so kind to do that. Also, I think there's always a part of me and my mom that not only do we not want to get into confrontation with other people and their plans, but we also like being the people who worked things out and made things happen.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's part of that. But my mom has consistently done Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff on different days for a multitude of different reasons. So thank you, Mom. That's a tradition
Mom.
that I appreciate and respect and am grateful for you giving up so that we can still all have a good family time that's not just rushed.
Yeah. And I hope she knows. I hope she knows how grateful I am for that. But I also hope she knows that I also understand what she values and that I work my hardest to make sure that we get the time with Brooklyn and her.
Yeah.
Because we don't always have Brooklyn on Christmas or on Thanksgiving. So I really do try hard to make sure that I plan those things out when we do have Brooklyn so that it's all of us together. Because I think that's what's most important to your mom. Honestly, I think she just wants to hang out with Brooklyn more than she wants to hang out with us. And that's totally okay. I know you love me.
Rude.
But
well, do you want to dig into some of your traditions growing up?
did you
or
even say
mine?
any of yours?
I said the one that I didn't like, which was going to multiple
Yeah, we
houses
haven't
and
done
stuff.
that though.
But I'm happy to talk a little bit about the traditions in my life if you want. Or you can jump in.
Yeah.
Would you like me to do it?
You go for it.
I'll start it.
What is his voice?
Spoiler alert. This voice is my Kellie voice.
Mm.
Spoiler alert. We mentioned, not a ton of traditions in my family. And as I thought through it, a lot of the traditions, some of them just, burn to the ground. So let me tell you why. First of all, like I said, we didn't have a ton of different traditions. We weren't like, we always have to hang the mistletoe, or so-and-so always puts the topper on the tree every year. Like, there was nothing like that I can remember. I also was raised predominantly in a house that celebrated both Hanukkah and Christmas.
Yeah.
Because my stepfamily was Jewish, and
I forgot about that.
we weren't really anything, but we celebrated Christmas. At least that was my whole life up until middle school, essentially. What I will tell you, the things I remember, is we would always do an extended family Christmas Eve celebration that was at my grandma's house most of the time.
That's what I was just talking about. Yeah.
Yes. Almost always at my grandma's house when both of my grandparents were alive. And then I believe moved over to my mom's house.
Which
You were
was
there
fun.
for some of those. Yeah.
I enjoyed that time.
We definitely did years and years and years at my mom's house as well, I recall now. Even after my grandfather had passed, my grandmother is still around.
Because you did it all. I went to two, maybe three of them. And
I don't even
and
think
I
it
was
was
there
that
when
many.
they stopped. It was at least two.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
I have pictures from two.
It's a blur. But we, along those same lines, we also did Thanksgiving typically at my mom's house, or, our house, like my house growing up, whatever.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now, my mom never ate any turkey or anything because somehow she was always saddled with basically cooking everything.
cleaning.
We had some years with like 35 people at the house.
Too much. Your mom is just a giver.
She is a giver. And I love you, Mom, but a giver sometimes at your own detriment. And I want more taking in your life and less giving. Let's enjoy it a little bit. But there was one Thanksgiving to rule them all, and I think it's what ruined Thanksgiving for the rest of the time. I think it is what broke up the family in terms of Thanksgivings. I'm not sure that we did another Thanksgiving. I'll give you the highlights of it. So like I said, we'd always get together on Thanksgiving with our extended family, as you do. And I don't know why, but so I have 3 aunts. My mom has 3 sisters, so there's 4 girls in that tier of the family, most of which insist on taking their dogs with them everywhere.
Yes.
Service animals, that kind of thing, but not service animals.
Yeah.
All of them. One year, there was someone who I love, a boyfriend in the family that is allergic to dogs. And I guess that some dogs were at the house, some weren't, but it turned into this huge problem that literally like blew up the family. And I don't think we've ever recovered. The family got together. Some people stormed out. Some people blocked each other and unfriended them on Facebook. I kid you not. This happened. Like
that boyfriend marry into the family?
Yes.
Is it? I have a guess.
It doesn't matter because he's not married in the family anymore.
Oh, never mind.
He gone.
Oh.
Good guy though.
Not the person I was thinking of, but I now know who it is.
But it blew up the whole tradition, as far as I know, of Thanksgiving. Granted, I actually love my cousins and I liked the time that we spent together, particularly growing up. It wasn't like that, but everything's always been tumultuous with all of what I would call the sisters, my mom and her 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it's rough. And anyway, the Thanksgiving tradition blew up that year. But I will say, if that was a negative thing, we would always spend as children Christmas Eve, like I said, with our extended family.
Yeah.
And that was always a good time. It really was focused on the kids, just as it always is like make sure the kids get to open their gifts and have a good time and yada, yada, yada. And having all of my cousins around, which is a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
We always had a great time, whether it was opening gifts or playing with stuff, that we had just got or whatever. It was always a good time. So that was a tradition that I really liked, which was Christmas Eve, typically at my grandparents', but then moved over to my mom's house. Yeah. In terms of Christmas or Thanksgiving traditions outside of that, I really don't have any.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like I have more traditions now that we've made with Brooklyn than then, but there are a couple that stand out to me. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal, especially for Sean, my brother Sean. He watches that every year, and my parents always have it on. I don't think it's as exciting for us because we had more exciting things.
We have the internet now. Why would we watch big balloons?
But I understand why I was saying. I do think it's cool to kind of watch. I think it's interesting always to be like, dang, like,
here comes Snoopy.
It is kind of a cool thing to think about, but I like watching the different performing acts and things like that. That's a big deal. But we have more. Thanksgiving always happens at my mom's house. It's always been at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, my mom actually bought her house from my grandma. So the house that she owns now is actually the house that she grew up in, which I think in and of itself is kind of cool. Like my grandparents, my mom grew up there and then I grew up there. And I think that's just a really cool thing.
Kind of crazy.
And not many people can say that. But we always do Thanksgiving at my mom's house. My mom and dad always cook. Always, 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 always. Because of me, they now always get a ham because I don't eat turkey. So my dad always gets a baked ham from...
Well, we talked about it earlier this week on Hardly Working. Ham is way better than turkey.
I know.
And less calories, apparently.
I know. But when I was younger, I do remember things. We'd go up to my grandparents' house a lot. They lived in Idaho. Fudge was something my grandpa and my dad would make.
Fudge.
But they would make it.
Yeah.
I remember that. Pudding was a big thing during Thanksgiving, which it's funny because I guess one of my aunts is bringing chocolate pudding this year because that was like a big thing that my grandma used to make and do. But I would say probably the biggest Thanksgiving tradition that I can think about that we do is every year we put parsley on the table.
Parsley, like the herb?
Like the herb parsley on the table for 2 reasons. Well, for 3 reasons.
Can I guess one?
Yeah.
Does it have to do with like an Old Testament prophet?
No. Put parsley on the table because it's said to bring good luck.
We all know that, sure.
It makes sure if you are willing to take a piece of parsley and chew and eat it, it'll make your breath smell better.
That sounds like some poverty BS.
But we really do it because my grandpa did it every year.
And that's something I can get behind.
And so it's kind of the thing that has stuck around that as I think about it, I know my grandma's even saying it this year. This might be truly the last year that she comes down for Thanksgiving. She's getting older. It is kind of this thing that we do for my grandpa.
Yeah, it's a sweet tradition.
And it's a nice thing. And it's something that I'll probably do at Thanksgivings we have in the future, even though it's kind of dumb and kind of weird. I always look at that and know that it's for my grandpa. And it kind of just feels like, oh yeah, he's here with us in that way too. So I'm an emotional person. If you haven't learned that on this podcast yet, then
it's a lot. I love you. I'm just kidding. I'll take all of your emotions. This is one of those weird things where you and I differ. We don't differ on many things, but tradition and legacy and that kind of stuff has a higher value to you than it does to me.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that for you? I never met your grandfather, of course.
I know.
And similarly to how you've never met my father. And honestly, if I was going to put something out, we could put some parsley out for your grandfather and some cilantro out for my dad. That dude, we used to put cilantro on top of a pizza. Like, not just like I minced cilantro, like plop it on. Yeah, he's like, you're going to love it, kid. He didn't sound like that at all. But it was horrible. I'm not a fan. But what is it about?
You like cilantro now. But.
Oh, yes, but not like whole pieces with stems on a piece of pizza. What is it about? What is it for you that's like you would want to keep the legacy of your grandfather going after that?
I think it's the same reason why people do. Is it ofrendas? Ofrendas?
Oh, like in Coco?
Yeah.
Yeah, the like mantle with the deceased on it.
Yeah, so that people won't be forgotten. So that people keep talking about them. That's probably where traditions come from. Like this thing that we did that we keep going because it helps us remember.
Well, yeah, that and because everyone is terrified of what happens after you die and that there might be something and there might be nothing. So for millions of years, we've made up what happens after that or said like, well, as long as we keep a picture of them on the mantle, they don't die. Like we're all just trying to cope with the finite nature of life.
Yeah. But I think, I still have lots of fond memories of my grandfather.
Do you know how old he was when you passed? I know we're a little tangential
here. How old
he
was? I don't know.
No, how old you were.
I was older. I was working at like American Eagle or Chick-fil-A at the time.
So you were in your 20s.
I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So I was older. At least
probably a decade ago.
Probably. We'd have to ask my mom or my dad. I'm sure they'll tell us when they listen. But
I hope so, because I'm not bringing it up at Thanksgiving. It's not the right time.
But it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I was really close to like my mom's side. My dad's parents, not so much. I never met my grandpa on my dad's side, and we've talked a little bit about his mom, and there's that. But I would go up and spend like vacations and stuff up with my grandparents on my mom's side, my grandma and grandpa. So I was really close with them.
Yeah.
And my grandpa was just a very big man, but a very soft, sweet, like loving guy.
Right.
We gotta move on.
Oh, yeah. I was like, do we just turn this into the grandparents episode? And then I got my answer.
No.
So tradition of keeping the parsley on the table.
Yeah, you'll see it this year. I just talked to my mom. She's like, we already have it.
I thought it was something like what we do for Passover. Not we, because we don't celebrate Passover, but you're supposed to like leave a chair open for Elijah or something, or like give him some wine.
Although my grandma is
open
Jewish.
The door. She is. I know. Any non-crying traditions you got back there, or just those?
No, that's just my Thanksgiving traditions. Christmas, I feel like we have more. Sorry, just need a second.
It's okay. This isn't necessarily a tradition, but I do remember like my mom used to travel a lot when I was young. I shouldn't say a lot, not a lot in light of like what we do, but she was an attorney and she'd travel. And I remember whenever she'd travel, she would either leave little like letters behind or little toys that we got to like get and open every day, which I was like, I should do that for Brooklyn. And I was like, I don't have enough money to keep giving her toys every time we leave because I don't have enough money for 200 days a year.
That's funny. My mom and my grandma do that to each other though. And I'm sure that's something my mom and I will do.
What do you mean?
Because my grandma lives in Idaho, they will hide notes in each other's bags.
Really?
Yeah, that they then will read when they get home or whatever. And it's a really cute thing that I think that they do. I'm sure my mom and I will do that if my mom ever moves.
Dumbest thing we do that, don't we?
We do.
We write on whiteboards.
We do. But I think it's a really sweet and funny thing. So I just try to hide it in there. Other traditions we have Christmas traditions. Well, see, there are traditions we used to do that we don't do anymore. I feel like we used to make our own, or get our own ornaments every year. That was a big thing. You could like make and like bake them.
Oh, a make and bake situation. Yeah, like it's clay or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We used to do that or like make ornaments. My mom has like a ton of like homemade ornaments that like we have.
My mom, speaking of ornaments, I don't think anyone else in the world will know what this is. But she had these, what I can only describe as close to a Beanie Baby version of a reindeer. Imagine if like think Bambi, like if you know her legs went out to the side and was sliding on the ice on her stomach, it kind of looks like that. But she would have these cute little reindeer things that looked like they were laying on their stomach and use those as ornaments all through the Christmas tree.
Cute.
I'm sure they're still around.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't even imagine anyone having those other than my family.
I feel like I've seen those, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I would say the biggest Christmas tradition that has lasted and that stays is like getting a Christmas tree with my dad. It's something that we do now that we've incorporated Brooklyn into doing.
Very cool.
But we go get a real Christmas tree every year. And the tradition is that it's just dad and the girls. So you just be me and my dad and that's it. And now it's me, my dad in Brooklyn. And we'll go get a Starbucks hot cocoa and then go to the Christmas tree lot. And we'll go and pick out a tree that is slightly too tall for my mom and ever so slightly curved to the side. And we'll bring it home. And we make the joke every year. It's a tall one. It's really tall. It's 8 feet tall. And we never find one that's perfectly straight. And it's always a joke. And it is something that I will miss.
Don't go there, girlfriend. I see you going there.
Because we don't have a real Christmas tree. We have a fake one. If my mom ever wants to get a fake or like keep the fake Christmas tree, I'll be really sad about it. Maybe traditions wasn't the best thing to talk about. But I do have new traditions that I do with Brooklyn now.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about those.
Something is, I don't know if it's tradition or what, but like how it works in our family, which I think you think is always weird.
Yeah.
But it is something we do, is we used to, and we still do, always open the stockings first and then do breakfast. And then we open the gifts under the tree. And I think that's always a weird thing for you. Like, why are we doing that? I'm like, it's because we have to eat.
No, the weirder thing that your family does is play games for gift cards all day long. Thing. Which I love, unless we have Brooklyn on Christmas. Yeah. And I'm like,
then it's hard.
You guys, there's a kid.
But she's old enough now. She's going to take them for their money.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. She's never going to want to sit and play cards.
She will when she's like, it's my turn to pick. We're doing Pokemon battles and she wins.
It's going to be her version of villainous.
Yeah. Anyways, but
new traditions like the ones that you and Brooklyn have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
That was something that when we became a family, when we got married, I was like, I really want to have certain traditions. And I always thought it was weird that families did that, like had them, because there were certain things I wanted to do that we didn't really do at our house that I do now. Like a big thing for us is every year, you don't join in on this. You've never joined in on this, but Brooklyn and I do matching PJs.
Yeah. Hit me with some of the ones we've done before.
We've done Harry Potter. We've done matching tie-dye ones. I guess we've done Harry Potter twice because I think I did Harry Potter last year for her, maybe too.
Yep.
We've done the fuzzy ones. That was what we did last year. You didn't like those ones?
Those were horrible. They look like cave people.
This year, we're doing Wicked ones. She's not listening to this.
You don't know. It's a public podcast.
And this year, the tradition normally is that she opens them on Christmas Eve. I let her open up one gift on Christmas Eve. And it's normally PJs. But this year, since she's going to be with us for the majority of December, we've made the decision that we'll open on the 1st. I think we started that last year too.
It's more fun if you're going to wear them, you might as well.
We do Christmas PJs now for the whole month. So, but that's the other tradition we do is I let her open up one gift on Christmas Eve. This year, I already know what it's going to be.
The Half Mouse?
No, we're going to let her open those up early too.
On Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve, I'm going to let her open up her slippers. She'll have Christmas slippers.
Christmas slippers. Okay.
Because that's a weird tradition that we do. Christmas lights is a big deal for me. That's normally a birthday tradition, but since my birthday falls in December.
Yeah, we don't always make it to Christmas lights, but we try.
I like Wakefield Christmas lights are my favorite. I get a hot chocolate. I normally invite anyone that wants to come, and we go and we walk the Christmas lights, and we do that.
Yeah, you may have heard we
did that once with John and Whitney. I think. Did we do that?
No, they bailed. Oh. Edit that out. There's a Candy Cane Lane that's close to us, and people have heard of that a little more. But north of us is a place called Wakefield, and that's where we like to go. It's nicer and it's just better,
and not scary like it was Cloverfield. I would say like the movies. Isn't there a movie called Wakefield?
Cloverfield. There's a band called Wakefield.
I don't know, but it is great, and I'll probably want to do something similar. Maybe that's what we do.
You know what other tradition I like though?
What is
sugar cookies with your parents in Brooklyn?
I was going to say that. Yeah. That's I feel like that's kind of the mix from what in my memory was we used to make ornaments, or maybe we used to make cookies when I was younger. It's kind of that. And that is something that we stick to. We do that. And then sometimes we do gingerbread houses, which we've done for the last 3 years with my parents. is we'll make cookies and then we'll build those little gingerbread house things, or we'll decorate the cookies all kind of at the same time.
Yeah, it's cute.
And it's fun. Last year, I think my brothers joined. I think they were both there. Mm-hmm. And it is a really fun thing because Brooklyn, then we have cookies for Santa.
Which is great.
Which she doesn't necessarily believe in anymore, but we still do.
Yeah, talk about traditions. Our kid was like, I know Santa's not real. And I've known for a few years. She literally was like, I just didn't want to let you guys down. I was like, God, you're a people pleaser like us. It's better to be a part of the fantasy.
But I think those are a couple of traditions that we have.
Those are most of the traditions.
I tried to make cinnamon rolls a tradition, but let's be real, it was a lot of work. Maybe I'll bring it back this year. Oh,
homemade cinnamon rolls?
Should I bring it back? I'll have her longer this time.
Bring it back. They're great, but you got to proof them, and then they're bigger than you think, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Don't put it in yet. Don't look it up yet.
I'm not.
But I will say one more tradition as we wrap up, unless there's something we're missing that you haven't said yet.
Nope.
What was that?
I had brought up a list of traditions that I was like, so if we don't have traditions, maybe we could pick from one of these that we could do.
Good. I can save mine for later, but tell me some
of these do. These are some normal traditions people have.
Can I just say weird or not weird then?
Yeah. These aren't as weird.
Hit me with them. I'll be the judge of that.
Wearing pajamas.
Weird.
We do that.
No, but when the whole family does it and they take like Christmas photos, weird.
Making snow angels. We don't have snow, but
so weird.
I've done that. I think it's a fun one. Hiding presents. Some people hide presents from younger children. My brothers used to do this. I thought this was a tradition at some point in time.
Not weird.
Do scavenger,
kind of fun. Yeah.
Scavenger hunts, which I actually thought were very, very fun. And every so often they do again. We do it sometimes depending on our Christmas mood.
All right.
Sending cards. This is an on again, off again thing for me. This year I will send cards.
Weird.
Watching movies.
Not weird. Bring it back.
I do that. I watch holiday movies.
No
while
one
I
watches more
presents.
movies than Kelly McGillicuddy.
I do love them. Making ornaments.
Not weird. Cool.
Opening presents on Christmas Eve. Opening all the presents on Christmas Eve. That
weird.
is, I know that is a more like a Latinx, like a lot of Hispanic families do that. I have a lot of friends that stay up until Christmas Eve, and that's when they do that's their Christmas.
Never heard of it.
I think it's weird too because I'm used to Christmas morning, but I'm like, but we're used to Christmas morning and they're used to Christmas night. So camping.
Weird.
Exchanging ornaments. Some people do like they exchange ugly ornaments, which I think is such a weird thing. Playing games. We do that.
Not weird.
Dressing up pets.
Weird.
And the weirdest of them all, the Christmas pickle.
What?
A glass ornament in the shape of a pickle that's part of modern Christmas celebrations, but the origin is unclear.
The Christmas pickle?
The Christmas pickle, babe.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
That's odd. But as you were saying that, it reminded me, did you ever do white elephant Christmases and stuff?
I was going to say that used to be a really big... We used to do Sweeney Christmas every year, which is my maiden name.
That was a white Christmas situation?
And that was with my...
Wait, white Christmas? Christmas...
Elephant.
What's it called? White elephant?
White elephant.
Okay. White Christmas, though. One of
Good
your favorite
movie.
movies.
It is my favorite movies.
Lame. Slightly racist. More than slightly racist. Doesn't hold up. Go ahead. Yes, white elephant.
I was like, well, now what's the name of it? But Sweeney Christmas was what we did every year. All the Sweeneys my dad has 3 brothers. The brothers and their kids and my grandma when she was alive would all get together and we would do a white elephant gift exchange. That was the thing.
I think
I told you this one year. I got like a pregnancy test and my dad was pretty mad. I had a $25 Starbucks gift card in it, but like that was the thing.
He was mad that you got that.
He was like, "Why would you do that? There are kids." Because I wasn't just me. I wasn't the youngest. There was someone younger than me.
Ew, someone peed
But that was the point. All of it was supposed to be like ridiculous. There was a Christmas wreath that went around for a while. That was like a dead wreath that would just keep getting rewrapped and regifted in this white elephant Christmas thing. But that was like a big
whack.
You want to know and similarly how someone got upset at yours. The same thing happened. I wasn't there for this year, but
I've heard tales.
Someone married into the family and their white elephant was a bunch of Playboy.
Okay. I was like, do you want to say it specifically? Because your family listens to this.
I wasn't there, but this is the last one that I remember.
Yeah, sure.
I guess they do listen. Well, but I didn't, and you can fill me in, but they got a bunch of Playboy magazines and were pretty upset about it.
Yeah. It's hard to do white elephant with children.
Well, and I would say this, while I was not there for this Sweeney Christmas, I understand why this person might be upset and offended, not knowing the history in the past of like the types of things given. I had the perfect white elephant gift ready to give that I never got to give that has now been tossed away. It was
Go
a
ahead
picture
and tell us.
of Sean laid out on a fur rug with no shirt on in like a loungy position. I was going to wrap it up. I thought that would be the perfect thing because it's all meant to be like silly and funny and playful. And
is it
maybe
all meant to be
pushing
playful?
Yeah, maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit, but like we're all adults.
I had an idea for Christmas this year.
And I'm sorry that person was offended.
I think we should do a white elephant wig exchange, and we have to wear the wigs during the games.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So make that happen.
Let's do it. Anyways, I mean, here's the deal. It's my podcast. I can say what I want.
It's my. Get your own podcast.
It's the truth, but I don't remember doing a Sweeney Christmas after that. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't.
I don't know. But I will say this: we didn't do very many white. We never did white elephant.
I
gifts
love them. I
for
think
my
they're
family.
so fun.
Me too. And I think it'd be fun to do that with friends, not with kids, because you know me, like.
No.
I care about kids a lot, and I don't want to I would never give them a pregnancy test or a stack of Playboys or anything.
For the record, it was there was always a minimum. Like you always had to have like at least like a $25 or something minimum, and so you could wrap it in something silly if you wanted to, but there had to be like a good gift in there.
Oh, okay.
So like in that, like I said,
the picture of Sean's not a great gift.
No, but it would have been with like a gift card,
yeah.
like on the back of it, and part of it is like hiding it to like. And you got to think we have Jeff too.
Yeah, of course.
So like.
Yeah.
He's not going to understand any of that stuff.
Do you mind if I throw in one more tradition before we wrap up? Tradition.
Also, I realized that we have more traditions than I thought of. Then I'm reading through that list. I was like, oh, I guess we do. Oh, we do that. Oh, I guess we do that.
Yeah. We do a lot of things every year.
Only certain ones really stick with me. Anyways.
I will say the one that sticks with me as the most important tradition that we do around the holidays, you and I, and we've done it for, I think, every single year we've been married, maybe 100%. Even prior. And if you've listened to the show for a while, you've heard us talk about it. But if you're new to the show, congratulations. It's your first time. Every single year we do our top knots.
Yeah.
Our top 10 moments from the year. Let me even break it down further. Kellie and I take like a day or a full morning or something, and we usually together but separate, if that makes sense, in the same place and space, but separately. One year we did it in Hawaii. We've done it at Starbucks. We've done it at our home. Together but separate. Go through our calendars, our photos, our texts, all that stuff, and we compile a list of all the things that we did or that happened that year. And we put our top 10 moments on there that are in order, from best. 10 being the least of the best, but still the best, and 1 being the best. And then our bottom 10, which really aren't ever in order. It's just like our
the crappy things
10s.
that happen.
Yeah. Hard to organize how terrible things are.
I think this year's going to be hard for me.
Yeah, for
not
the bottoms,
my bottoms. My bottoms are easy.
There's a lot of bottoms. But we also have a section for weird things.
Yeah.
Like didn't fit on good or bad, but do you remember that this happened? Yeah. So every year we do that. And then sometime, usually the day before the new year, or last year we did it on Hardly Holidays, and we're planning on doing that again this year on Hardly Holidays. We'll go through them, and we'll go through our list. We'll laugh, we'll reminisce, we'll compare and contrast. We'll start by going through our top knots from the year prior to be like, oh my gosh, can you believe that? That happened that year.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It is a little time capsule of the year and the years that have been. It's a great way to finish out your year and cast some vision for the next year.
Yep.
It is probably my favorite thing that we consistently do together.
And we'll do it again.
And if you want to be a part of that, we'll have a PDF that Kellie's made, so you can put in your tops and bottoms and that kind of stuff if you want to do that for yourself, for your friends, for your family, with us, whatever it is. But that is one tradition that I hope we hold on to for a long time, because it's one of my favorite parts of the year.
Yeah, we will forever. Until we can forget.
Yeah, until we forget.
Yeah.
Until this podcast is over. And no one can keep us accountable.
Well, those are some of our holiday traditions. We'd love to hear what some of yours are. Maybe we'll incorporate some of your holiday traditions into our holiday life.
In Hardly Holidays.
Yeah. So you can share with us. You can follow us at It's Hardly Working on Instagram and TikTok. You can email us at hardlyworkingfans@gmail.com. But let us know. I'd love to hear what some of your holiday traditions are, because I always think it's fun to learn about what other people do.
Me too. Or you can always hit us up there. Just like Kellie said, she's great at the plugs. I always forget to be like, here's how you can connect. And I'm just going to throw it out there. We're going to try to start doing some more lives on TikTok just to connect with people, because we know we got a cool community over there and we don't want to leave you hanging.
Maybe we'll wrap presents live.
Live? Wow. That's exciting. I can't wait.
I've already wrapped a ton of Brooklyn's.
Yeah, you have. Anyway, hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope this has been the accoutrement de la noche of your Thanksgiving celebration. Just the cherry on top of it on a Friday or Saturday, whatever day you're listening to it. We can't wait to be back at you coming in December, Kellie's birthday month.
Woo, woo, woo.
And of course, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. So we got so much to do, so much coming up. We're grateful that you're a part of it. Thanks for hanging on, hardly working through it. I hope you spend most of your time
Hardly working. Bye.